fact, I did a bit of a master's in digital marketing, and this was a few years ago, but I was shocked at how bad the internet is as a research tool. Like, really, when you are researching something real, I mean, not a holiday in Ibiza, but when you're researching something real, like a principle or a philosophy do you know what I mean? It's like beyond page 2, it all gets kind of irrelevant, is what I found.
It's with everything. I think the problem with the internet is, as we see in the media, is there's so much misinformation on the internet, and if you can't source check correctly and you take something for face value, a lot of the times you're going to find actually that's not the correct information. Like, at my university, it's a bit like, if you can use some online sources, but if it's not a journal or a book or some like proper academic reference from like a reputable source, it's like veto the internet because you just
Yes.
can't. And I think a lot of people can't determine things, which is why so many people just believe anything they see to then go, oh, that's a fact, I believe it now. It's researching is a
Yes.
different skill, and I find it really hard, and I'm at the level I'm at, and there's lots of information out there. It's deciding what's actually correct or useful.
Yes. Yes. And I tell you the way I feel about it is like artificial intelligence is like artificial grass. It ain't grass and it ain't intelligence. Do you know what I mean? Like, intelligence is not what computers are good at, is data. So they can store, they can analyze, they can present data. But that's not intelligence. Like, intelligence is data plus experience plus emotion plus empathy plus connection plus all of these things. Do you know what I mean? So I just worry about the Terminators, because we're getting to a point where if the computer says no, you have absolutely no recourse now. There is no human to be found who can actually support you, I think.
Well, that's it. And then what happens when we rely too heavily on computers, as much we do now? So it's like the idea that people, you don't spell anything, not like, even my spelling has got, I'm a writer, right? My spelling has got bad because I rely so heavily on the computer to autocorrect me, and I use tools like Grammarly and things like that, which will assist me. But over time, perhaps our skills as human beings are going to weaken. And in that respect, like, what happens to our creativity? What happens to our actual like applied skills if we are relying on something like AI to do it all for us? Because if that then doesn't work, or we get to a point where like we're losing our ability to actually create these things ourselves by being too heavily reliant. And one of the things I'll answer later about how to be sort of better at copywriting, for instance, is to actually do it. And if you don't
Yes.
do it, if you rely on something else, well, you can't ever get better at it. And I don't know, like, I think humans, we like to feel that sense of accomplishment and achievement of actually like learning skills and getting better at something. If we
Yes.
rely too much on technology for everything, where does our motivations come from? Where do we feel satisfied in the work we do? Where that's just a personal input. But I just
Yes.
feel we're going to lose so much from being so heavily reliant on technology and all these tools that we
Yes.
seemingly are making our lives easier, but making
Yeah.
us dumber at the same time.
I think so. And I wonder, like, simple things, like when I got my first car with electric windows. I don't know if you know that there were cars without electric windows. My dad said to me,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be the first thing that breaks. I mean, you don't need that, and it'll be the first thing that breaks. And it was probably true. But now I wonder about these taps with sensors, because if people are growing up and they don't know how to turn on a tap, like, come the apocalypse, how on earth are they going to drill 200 meters down into the earth to get fresh water? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think you're right. I think it's dumbing us down. And the last thing I wanted to say about this artificial intelligence is, no, you're 100% right. You have to do stuff. It's a sense of achievement. I think that's what actually causes people to be happy and satisfied, is a sense that it was a difficult thing and I was excited and interested enough in it to actually persevere. And I did achieve something. So I think that's the big thing that the internet is stealing from us. Thank you for taking the time to check out this effective marketing clip. If you found this interesting and useful, YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy this one, and this is the latest thing that we've put together. If you haven't yet, and you could take a second to like, share, subscribe, and comment, that will give us the motivation to continue on this epic journey.